Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Horse Center with sensational, incredible photographer. I don't know if you saw the photo credit there, Sean Drupp, our Swiss Army Sean. Thanks for taking that picture. And of course, we have our guest this evening, Adam Bowman. Adam, how are you tonight?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on tonight.
Oh, no, thank you for coming. We were talking before the show got started. You had a nice win today at the track.
I did. I got lucky.
Well, tell us about that.
The filly I rode today, I rode her a couple weeks back at Delaware, and she ran second. And I really wasn't expecting a lot, but I looked at the race, and I figured if I put her in the right spot, she's gonna give it to me. And I bounced her out of there, put her a couple lengths back, and when it was time to run, she took off and just gave me everything she had. It was a nice way to win and end the week at Parks.
Now, I've seen somewhere else that you say you love to ride the rail. Looks to me like you did that again today. So what is it about the rail that makes you want to get down there? Are you a big Calvin Burrell fan, or what is it?
Yeah, when I first started riding, I watched Calvin a lot. It is the shortest way around. It's the shortest way around the racetrack. I just like being down in there. It's just easier to navigate, I guess. The horse can only go one way. Either going to go right or left through the rail. So hopefully, you don't go through the rail. We can keep him straight and keep him running.
So you said that in making that determination, the horse has to be willing to take dirt and get squeezed down there. How do you know, if you've never ridden a horse before, if it's going to be comfortable going in between horses in the rail and taking dirt? Is it something you pick up while you're right in the race?
Yeah, you can usually tell. I mean, I could tell pretty quick, coming out of the gate, going down the backside, whether the horse is going to be able to take a lot of dirt or go in between horses. Horses that are wanting to run up in between horses usually don't take a lot of urging to get them in there. And the ones who are a little more cautious, you got to push them a little bit more. And those are the ones you kind of want to look for the clear spot, clear running room, more than putting them in tight and down on the rail.
All right. So now most of the folks that we have come on that are jockeys, at some point in their life, there's a family member, they worked on the backside. So there's some connection for you. I mean, horse racing wasn't even on your radar. I saw that you went to a vocational school in high school, got a trade to build houses, and you tried to get jobs, but you were told you were too short. Is that right?
Yeah, sounds about right. I graduated high school in 2008. I went to a technical school in Pennsylvania. Couldn't get a job for the life of me, and horses weren't even on my radar. I wrestled in high school, pretty fit, active guy, and didn't really know what I wanted to do. And my mom, she lived in Kentucky at the time, and she said, there's this jockey school here in Lexington. Why don't you apply and try it out? Give it a shot. So I applied to the North American Racing Academy at the time, and just told them who I was, what I was about, and gave it a shot. And I never sat on a horse before then.
So where were you at when your mom was in Kentucky?
I was in Pennsylvania. I lived with my dad up in the Poconos.
See, I went to Pocono Mountain High School. Did you?
Okay. I originally from Berwick, so a little south of there, but close.
Okay, so I kind of wondered if you went to the same high school as I do, because I read that on Pennsylvania Derby Day that your folks came down from the Poconos.
Yeah,
like, wait a minute. There are not too many high schools up there, so I thought there's a chance. In any case, so you had said you never ridden a horse before. You went to this Kentucky school, and then Chris McCarron gives you a call and tells you to ride a horse. And based upon it seemed like what you were saying, you had never ridden a horse before to that point, or is this something new?
I've honestly, I might have sat on a little pony when I was like 10, but never rode a thoroughbred quarter horse, nothing. So I got down to Kentucky, and they gave me a leg up on a horse, and I was out in left field. I didn't know what I was doing at all. I mean, they told me to try to jog a horse down the shed row, and I was just kind of going for the ride, just kind of hanging on. They snapped the shank on him, let him down the shed row, and I guess I looked like I kind of knew what I was doing.
So what were you thinking? You were like, what were you thinking? What the hell am I doing? What were you thinking at that time?
I mean, yeah, pretty much. I was just, in it for the moment, just and trying to enjoy it, trying to figure out. I honestly didn't know what I wanted to do, so I was just nothing really fazed me at the time. I was 19 and I was just young, dumb, and just trying to figure life out.
So when you got off the horse afterwards, what did they tell you?
What did they say? I couldn't even remember. It's been so long ago. But I remember I got off the horse and I had to like do a little sit down interview with them in their tack room, and tell them about myself and what I did, how much I weighed, and this and that, and my physical attributes to see if I would be able to cut it in the jockey life.
From wrestling, I'm sure once you told them that you wrestled, they probably knew you had the core strength and the ability to be up on a horse for long. When you said that would be the case, Sean?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, I'm not the wrestler, you two are, but yeah, I know it's the same thing with the weight. So Adam, you had your first grade 1 race after, what are we talking, 12 years?
Yeah.
PA Derby Day. Talk a little bit about that and that experience.
That was a pretty amazing experience. I didn't go into the race really expecting. I didn't have high hopes, and the horse really run great. But I went in just to enjoy the moment. I've never had that kind of opportunity to be in a race like that, be surrounded by those guys. So I was just wanting to soak it in and enjoy the moment. You never know when those moments like that are going to come back around for a guy like me. I always wish that I can ride in the big races and the nice horses, but they're hard to find. So I just was enjoying it.
How much different was it in the paddock and stuff for that race? And then when you got to the race, was it kind of just business as usual when you're in the race?
Yeah, the paddock was fun. I was talking to the owners and the trainer, and they were just told me just have fun, have a good time, enjoy yourself. But by the time I got out on the track and got to the gate, it was all business. It just clicked. It's just natural. You do it long enough, and everything just kind of comes old hat.
And then a couple weeks ago, you had the fear and the low of a scary accident. Talk a little bit about that and what happened.
Probably 2 weeks ago now at Penn National, I had a horse break down pretty bad. I was turning for home, top of the lane. Horse switched leads. I was on the outside, and he just went straight down. And it's just the nature of the beast, nature of the business. It's a tough game. You just kind of gotta be tougher sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Does wrestling help you with that too? Just with that mentality?
Yeah, I guess it's a mentality thing. You just kind of you can't think about it. That stuff like that happens at parks. Two guys have went down at parks the other day, and in racing, it just happens. You just put it in the back of your mind, and things can happen. You just try not to think about it.
Do you feel like from your wrestling experience, maybe you're when you're falling, you're better equipped to react? Because I feel like for me, from the years I played, where I wrestled, like if I find myself off balance or something like that, I find myself turning almost instinctively, where I land a little bit more in a position where I'm able to get my balance, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, in an extent, it does help when you're falling, but I would say things happen so fast. I mean, if you're coming out of the gate and a horse stumbles, you have a chance to catch yourself because it's not happening as fast. But when you're in the middle of a race, like say you clip heels or the horse breaks down, you're going 40 miles an hour on the back of the horse, and they go so fast. I mean, you don't have time to think about trying to catch yourself. It's just pray to God that you can land right, bounce, and there's nobody behind you to run you over.
Mm-hmm. So you did get a win today, and I saw in an earlier interview that when you come home, your full family, the little kids, daddy,
yeah.
Did you win today? So today, daddy got a win. So walk us through the difference of when daddy wins when he comes home and he says, yes, I won today, versus no, daddy didn't get the win today. What's the difference in celebration?
It's fun because I get to come home and tell my kid, yeah, daddy won today, and they get all excited, and it's fun. It's fun for them. Days I don't win, it's just another day. I come home, I'm dad. I'm thankful I have an awesome wife at home who takes care of my kids while I'm gone. And, some days, I leave the house sometimes at 5:00 in the morning, and if I'm riding at parks, training, parks in the afternoon, Penn at night, sometimes I don't get home till 10, 11 o'clock at night. So, she's my rock. Takes care of the kids and everything at home. And, that helps a lot.
Now you see, sometimes when you get home, though, The Rock has some advice for you. So how does that work?
You know what? After the spill last week, she said I'm not watching any more races, and just let me know how you do. That's kind of how it's been with some of my family. They just kind of look at the charts at the end of the day, or I'll call my mom, call my dad, and say, "Look, I had a good day, didn't have a good day," and just let them know I came home safe and got home.
So one more thing, quick, Sean. When they're looking at the charts, they got to like what they see in 2022. You got to like what you see in 2022. So you're having a career year. What do you credit it to?
You know what? I've just had a lot of good opportunities this year. A lot of people have given me a shot that I haven't had opportunities to ride for, and horses just running for me. I couldn't really explain it. I bust my butt every day. I've been riding for 11 years now, and it's been the same day in, day out grind every day, just going at it and hoping to catch a break.
You caught quite a few of them this year. Sorry for Sean for gobbling up all the airtime.
No, that's fine. So Adam, how difficult is it now? You said about 10, 11 o'clock at night. What happens when you come home at 5, 6 o'clock and you got 4 kids running to the door to see you? You're exhausted at a day. They're ready to go. How difficult is it to balance all that?
It could be difficult, but you know what? My kids give me a second breath of air sometimes when I come home, and they come up to me, give me a big hug. Daddy, I missed you. It gives me a second wind to come home and play some games with them and get them ready for bed, eat dinner. It really does.
Do they go to the track with you sometimes too?
Occasionally they come out to the races, but not too often. I live in New Jersey, so it's about 40 minutes for me to get to parks from where I'm at. So they don't come out too often, but every once in a while I get them out there and try to get them in the winner's circle.
Are any of the kids interested in horses, and you think they have a future?
I mean, are they interested? Sure, a little bit. Whatever daddy's interested right now, they like. So whether they have a future or not, they could stay away from the horses. That'd be fine with me.
Yeah, that was my next question. So when you did first start, not knowing much, who were some of the jockeys that really helped you, that you really looked up to?
It kind of ties in with Jeffrey Doyle's question. Who was your mentor?
Oh, there you go.
Other than Chris, Chris helped me out a lot when I first got started. But I started in Ohio, actually. I rode my first race in Ohio at River Downs, and I looked up to Perry Utes a lot. Ironman Perry Utes helped me out a lot. And then when I came to parks, a lot of the veterans were there. Frankie Pennington, Stewie Elliott. I kind of watched their style, watch how they ride, and just trying to pick a few things from everybody and just try to hone my own craft.
Speaking of Frankie Pennington's agent, his agent's son is now your agent.
Yes.
Talk about that a little bit. New agent, and he got his couple wins now.
Yeah, he picked up my book a couple weeks ago, and I haven't had an agent for a long time, and he approached me and said, I'm looking to get a rider, this and that, and I said, you know what, it's worth a shot. With the connections they have, anything that can help my business out. I figure right now is a great time to get a little stepping stone with me having a good year. It can't hurt, so I figured, what the heck, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking to stay at parks? Are you looking to venture out at all, or?
I mean, I'll ship around for trainers. If they go to Penn, Delaware, Monmouth, whatever, they're closed now. But this is home for me now. My kids are here. My wife's here. I've traveled. I was in Oklahoma for a couple months. I rode at Remington Park 7 years ago. Ellis Park. I rode in Kentucky, rode a little meet over there. Ohio is where I started. I've done my traveling. I'm pretty happy, content here. I would hate to uproot my family and leave. So I'm pretty content.
Besides parks, because it's probably your favorite. Out of all the other tracks you've been at, what's your favorite that you've been at, and what's the one that you least liked?
My favorite track. My favorite tracks, other than parks, I enjoy Delaware. I enjoy riding at Delaware. Just the atmosphere there, the ambiance of the place. It's a great place to ride.
So we have a comment here from Ron Sorry, Ron. It's not. I can't. I'm just blind. It says, "Hi, Adam. Enjoying your informative interview. Congratulations on your win today, Ron from Deptford." I hope I got that. So when you get a win, you had said before, a lot of times you're not riding the favorites, right? I think the horse that you won on today paid $9, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong.
I think it was
$6. All right. I didn't mean to shortchange you, but or overchange you, whatever. But you said a lot of times when you're riding some of the longer shots, so that when you come back into the jocks room, you like to bust stones. I think the way you put it. So when you come back and you're on like a priced horse, pretend Sean and I are one of the other jocks you just beat. What kind of things do you tell them?
It's sad. I don't know. I'll just I just like to give them a hard time. A lot of some of the guys are riding favorites 3-2, 2-1. They're supposed to win. So when you come in on a long shot, I like to razz them up a little bit, give them a hard time, because who's Adam Bowman on this 8-1, 9-1 shot, 20-1 shot coming on the outside, gonna nip them on the wire. So it's fun. It's fun beating them.
Do they give it to you back when they beat you?
Yeah, sometimes they give me a hard time.
Who's the biggest prankster in the jocks room? Is that you?
No, I don't know. It's a bunch of young guys up in the parks room right now. So it's pretty quiet. I mean, they like to throw shade at each other and give each other a hard time, but it's all mutual and fun respect.
So someone says they're watching you from downstairs. Kathleen Barry Anderson.
That's his mother-in-law.
My father-in-law, mother-in-law. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That's got to be good.
Yeah,
for sure. Helps out when you're gone from those long days. Now, you did say that you're kind of for lack of a better word, antsy, in that if you're not on 6 to 7 horses today, you kind of go a little bit stir crazy. So, tell us a little bit about your typical day, not including at the track and stuff like that. So you get up early, and then what?
Yeah, I get up early, and I'm not much of a breakfast person, so I kind of just get up, get dressed, get out the door. My ride to the track's about 40 minutes, give or take a few, to get the parks, and then I get there whenever the track opens. Right now, the track opens at 7, so I'm there a couple minutes before 7 to get on my first horse, and I'm just kind of ripping them out. I get on 6, 7 horses before the break, and then 5 after the break. I'm hustling. I'm always moving. Trying to get on as many as I can just to stay busy.
So in that 40-minute drive, are you just kind of reflecting, or what's on the radio?
Going to work, I'm usually listening to sports talk, because I usually go to bed early. I try to get the kids to bed early, and then I'm passed out right behind them. So I don't really get to stay up late and watch any sports. So I kind of catch up on what happened throughout the night and whatnot.
So you're in Philadelphia. Does that make you an Eagles fan? Because I know that I read Frankie Pennington's a Cowboys fan. So we'll have to bring that up to him when he talks. But how does that roll?
I'm actually a Pittsburgh fan.
Oh, God, that's probably worse.
I guess. This year, yeah.
So you don't get any, Eagles fans are tough. I remember as a kid going to the vet and watching them play the Cowboys, and they're throwing batteries and stuff at the players. So, I mean, how do you get by in Philadelphia as a Steelers fan, or is that kind of under the down low?
It's on the down low. I mean, everybody at the track knows I'm a Steelers fan, but I wouldn't go to an Eagles game wearing my Steelers jersey. That's for sure.
Yes. That's like going before the board in the electric chair.
Yes.
Right? Indeed. Yeah, those Philly fans are quite something else. So, Sean, anything else, my man?
So what track surface, what distance do you like when you go to a race? You're like, oh, I really like this distance, this surface. Is it dirt and short, dirt and long?
I enjoy riding on dirt. Distance wise, it really depends on the horses and what I'm riding that day, because I can have a great speed horse going short, or a great speed horse going long, or horse that likes to relax. It just depends on what I'm riding that day, and how the race is going to set up for me.
Are you a replay and form guy? Just a form guy?
I watch a few replays. I mostly look at form, because I get on a lot of the horses that I ride. I get on them in the morning, so I get a good feel for them. But the few that I don't get on, I'll watch a replay here or there and look at the form, see how they like to run, and if they're not running good that way, maybe change something different or whatnot. Go from there.
How hard is it when you're warming up in the morning and you're just working out horses? Is it hard not to be like in the moment, the competitive moment, the race? Or is it nice and relaxed that you like that?
Training wise, I enjoy it because it's pretty laid back in the morning. I mean, I'm hustling to get on horses, but it's a lot more laid back, comfortable. You just get on horses, and I can just spend time with the horses and just kind of love on the animals a little bit and show them the respect and the love that they deserve.
So when you're riding on the horses in the morning that you're going to ride in the races, are they giving you clues already there that this one's like, just you can tell by the way they're working out that they're ready to go, or you just don't find out really until the gates open?
Yeah, when I'm working horses in the morning or galloping them, you can get a clue on what type of horse you're riding, whether you're riding a real laid back horse and a horse that wants to come from off the pace, or a speed horse. They'll be all amped up. You can tell in the morning they're juiced up, jazzed up, ready to go. Or a laid back horse that's a one run horse, so to say. I get a pretty good feel for how they are and what they like.
So as far as your 2022 being a solid year, are you starting to feel like more phone calls coming in, more people interested in you, putting them on you on their horses? Tell us kind of like how your career is developing as a result of your success this year.
I guess so. I'm getting some more opportunities to ride for different people and just some live horses. I've got my business that I've established at parks, my usual clientele that I've been riding for a long time. But yeah, I'm starting to get a few phone calls from other people and people that are noticing. It's a tough business. One day you're on top and the next day you're on the bottom. So it's all about what have you done for me now.
So one thing that comes up a lot, and we're kind of I'm kind of confused on this sometimes. To what degree do you have say over what horse you're riding? Are you sometimes trainer committed? Because you'll see in big races sometimes a jockey runs one horse and he flips to another horse. Is that because they think that horse is going to win and therefore their agent has them on that horse instead? Or are they at times committed to trainer and they don't really have a say?
I think it depends on the situation. You could have trainers and owners that you're committed to and say, look, I'll ride everything. They're riding you on everything. So, sometimes you're committed to that trainer and that owner, but other times, you have two different horses and one's a clear-cut favorite. Sometimes you got to make the hard call and try to ride the better horse, but other times you got to stay with your connections and just try to keep everybody happy. It's a very fine line.
Yeah. So you're saying it's kind of up in the air. It's like it depends on the situation.
Yeah.
I'm guessing what I'm hearing is it's up to the owner. If the owners understand, like, okay, go ahead, we want you to make that money. See you on the next time around.
Yeah. Exactly. I think that's a great way to put it.
So if you see, go ahead, Sean. I'm sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, in terms of where you are now compared to where you were 11 years ago, if you get to fast forward 11 years, where do you think you'll be?
In 11 years. Well, I'll be 33 this year, so another 11 years I'll be 40. I don't even want to think about that. I don't know.
It's not that bad, man. Once you cross 40, it's all right.
I'm still riding, God bless me. I've been fortunate enough to hang around this business for 11 years. Another 11 years will be great, but I take it day by day. It's a very tough business. Anything can happen.
So if you're not riding in 11 years, what do you see yourself doing besides this?
Construction.
No, that beats up my body. I do a little side projects here and there and work on some things, and I do enjoy doing it. But that's a toll on my body. I wouldn't mind staying in the business, whether I got into the racing office and became a steward one day, or became a trainer. I would love to stay in the business in one form or another.
Well, then
sorry, go ahead, Sean.
that leads to a couple other questions. How has the whip rule affected you with HISA? And also, if you were in charge of horse racing, what are some of the things you would change?
The whip rule hasn't really affected me too much, to be honest with you. I really wasn't a big whip rider to begin with. I was more of a hands and just kind of going with the horse and letting him be comfortable. So it really hadn't affected me too much. I had to change a little bit and slow down a little bit that way, but it hasn't bothered me too much. And things I would change in horse racing, I don't know. I you know what? I think they're doing a good job. It's a tough business. His is a very fine line with some of the things that they have going on, but there's also a lot of shady things that go on in the horse racing too that I think needs to be taken care of. That I think they're working on to help the business out.
Mm-hmm. So the other day there was a disqualification there, I thought, with Paco Lopez. Familiar with that race?
Yeah, I remember. I seen it coming out of the gate.
Yeah, when I watched it, I didn't think there's any chance they were going to DQ him. When you saw it, what did you think?
I thought it was kind of a toss-up in the air. I mean, I understand why the stewards took him down. I do see their side, but I also see if they left it up, I could be like, okay, I understand that too, because he did come out after it seemed like a couple jumps, you got to let your horse straighten itself up. But, it
looked to me like the one came out, hit the two went into the three, and then Paco tried to straighten out, and then trying to straighten out, got in the path of the four.
Yeah, it seemed like his horse kind of overcorrected itself. Like when he corrected, his horse kind of overcorrected itself and then just kind of caused more of a bump around.
So when let's say you're in a situation like that and you got hit, so it wasn't anything to do with you, so you're reacting to the hit, and then you get DQ'd. How does that conversation go with the steward? I mean, do you just have to pretty much grin and take it, or can you give him you give him a little hell back?
I actually had that happen to me this year. I ran second on one and had a horse come down. I think there was a horse on the rail. I was next to that horse, and then there was two horses outside me. So the outside horse came down, herded the horse that was on my outside, and made me go down in the rail and bump the horse on the rail, and I ended up getting DQ'd. So, and I was doing everything I could to keep my horse straight, but the horse on my outside kept pushing me down in. So, you tell the stewards, I'm doing the best I can to keep my horse straight. Sometimes the horse is just reacting to who's next to you. And, the stewards understand sometimes, you're doing the best job you can, but they still have to disqualify you. It's if your horse is bothering somebody else, it's just part of it sometimes.
So you don't really get to say, dude, you're wrong. I'm gonna see you out back. No, there's no conversations like that, right? Well,
I mean, sometimes, it's pretty mutual.
I understand.
How much when you're talking to the steward, sometimes do you have to really be like a salesman and kind of fibbing it a little bit, kind of making it a little bit better than what
he never fibs because you don't want them to see this and go, is he telling us the truth or not?
No, never. But everybody who gets on the phone, they all try to elaborate the story and tell them their side of the story and what happened. And I think everybody sees it a little different, but the videotape shows what happened. So you can't really go around that.
How much because this happens in life, so I got to think the answer is yes. How much does it matter who the person is that committed the foul and who is the person that was affected by the foul?
No comment. You know what? All's fair. I think if it's the rule, it's the rule. Whether it's another person or a leading rider or not a leading rider, a leading owner, a leading trainer. If it's bad enough and it affected the outcome of the race, I think the stewards do a good job and they take action.
Yeah, I gotta imagine that's. I mean, I don't think if I feel like I did something wrong, doing anything wrong, I think I would have a hard time being quiet and turn around and walk away personally. But it's I guess you get used to it. It's part of the sport for sure. Anything else, my man, Sean?
Well, now that you have an agent, how much does that help you just concentrate on what you need to do and open up some time to do that kind of stuff?
You know, it helps a lot because you know, he can help me set my schedule in the morning and just see people that I can't and I don't have time to go see. With me getting on a lot of horses, I don't have a lot of time to you know, chit chat up trainers and talk. I'm mostly just focused on getting on horses and hustling around. So it definitely frees up a lot of time for me to not have to worry about taking phone calls and worrying about the condition book and what horses are going where. So it's kind of nice in that aspect.
Save you some time for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I don't have anything else, Sean, because I know we tell folks about half an hour. We're right at a half an hour.
Yeah.
Want to respect that, and I know you got some kids that are waiting for you. So
Definitely.
And we hope that you have continued success for the rest of 2022.
Thank you.
And to see that line on the Equibase chart go even higher in 2023.
For sure.
Thanks for joining us, Adam. Have a fantastic night and continued success.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks.
You too. Thanks, Adam.
All righty, Mr. Sean. That wraps up this week for the Horse Center. What do you have? I know you kind of went through this yesterday, but what's on tap for next week?
And I didn't pull that up yet.
Okay, so I have to put you know, it's
I forgot. I forgot we don't do the news anymore. Remember, next week is more Turf Paradise week, where we start off with the track announcer Craig Praddock. Tuesday we have Kendrick Carmouche, so we go NYRA, and then Wednesday we go back to Turf Paradise with CC Perkinson.
Yes, our friend CC Perkinson. For sure.
All guests we've had on once before, and now they were really good the first time and kind of got their background. Now we're just gonna, have fun and talk about more recent events. So.
Yes, we'll talk about the conversations we had with Kendrick.
I don't know about all that, but yeah.
Yeah, well, we can talk about it. We'll speak in code. Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. Looking forward to all of them coming back on, seeing CC again. And then tomorrow, Charles and I will go after Aqueduct. So make sure you turn in for that at noon. And then on Friday, Thomas and I think we're going to be doing Shay Tin in Hong Kong. On Saturday, Terry and I will get together an hour earlier than usual to go through, I think it's called Claiming Crown Days or something like that, at Churchill Downs on Saturday. So you're going to want to make sure you turn in for that. Then, of course, we roll right back into the regular week from there. If you haven't done so already, please head over to the Picks from the Professor. There's a link in the description below. If you're going to put any action on college basketball, you're going to want to see what the statistics teacher, doctor, or professor sides, what his mathematical models have to say. Sean, that takes us wire to wire for this week. Any final thoughts before we leave on Hump Day?
No, you always say I got to get my tissues out. Now it's only 2 days, so I really got to get my tissues out and look forward to, Monday and do it again.
One quick thing, if you haven't, follow us on social sites. I forgot to put the ticker on below. Also, hit the like button, please, on YouTube and on Facebook. Helps us with their algorithms. Really inexpensive, free way to help the show because it helps us with our algorithm. You're just a little, and you help us a lot. So we'd appreciate that. That's it for me on this Hump Day, Sean. No matter what it is you're doing for the rest of this week.
Blake's going to help me out with this.
Yes, indeed. No matter what it is you do for the rest of this week and tonight, be it with Blake or not. All right. We hope it ends up in the
winner circle.
Winner circle.
All right.
Winner circle. The winner circle.
One more time. Crickets.
Winner circle.
All right. Have a good night.
The winner circle.
There you go.